Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and another episode on the Yamaha DT build. As mentioned in the last video, as I showed you, I've got those new parts that came in. So let's crack on with that and let's get those fitted. Just going to start with removing the exhaust system. Nice, just one bolt there just to get that off. As you can see, my sticker is on the inside. I'm not that fussed. I mean, I could heat it up and put it on this side. So that's our silencer off. Seat off. We just need to lift the petrol tank slightly just to get to the bolt for the expansion chamber. There we go, that should be enough. It's literally just a spring that holds it into the engine, so there's no bolts that end. So that's our exhaust off. So let's get the air filter fitted. Right, that's the air filter on. Just remembered when I took the exhaust off where the bracket was re-welded, so I'm going to give that bit of paint before I put it back on. So just going to warm it up first in the old bucket before we get that sprayed on. Alright, so while the paint's drying on that exhaust, I might as well get this clutch lever fitted. So I'm going to have to undo, just get a posi on that. Put that there for a second. Oh, I've already took that out once. There's some red grease on it. Definitely me, that is. There we go. Just put my new grip on so I know where to move that to. Just make sure I've got the right side. So with the smaller diameter, obviously on the non-throttle side. Let's get that on. Actually nice grips actually. Non-original, but they just look very similar to the original. Okay, we can move that over a touch. And put my lever where I want it, which is about there. Okay, there we go. Just finishes that off nicely with that new grip. Well, let's get my cable in. The original clutch cable that I had with the bike was still usable, but it was starting to fray, so it was no point in putting that back on. Okay, so I'm just looking, I'm just going to move the bike over. There we go. I'm just working out where this clutch cable's got a route. So I put that underneath there. Slot that in. There we go. Okay, I'll just move the camera down to where we're going to slot it in, down on the engine. Right, so let's undo the one bolt. Screw that one bolt pretty much all the way to the end there, just so I obviously have to make some adjustments. Slot that cable in. That looks way too slow. It's the wrong cable. So I just went to fit that clutch cable and I think they've sent the wrong one. It's been a while since I ordered it, so I could have selected the wrong one maybe. I'm just going to measure it next to the original. Yeah, as you can see, the original one, it's actually not too bad. It's got a little one thread that's bossed and it's just a bit twisted, but certainly use it if need be, but ideally, yeah, it's not massively longer, but the adjuster in it. It's about the same width as that inline adjuster, so that's probably what's missing off that new cable, which is why, well, saying that, it's got the adjuster at the other end, so I don't want to put that on. Nah, I think what I'll do is I'll just order another one, and hopefully that will be here in a few days. So let's move on to the next part. So my exhaust is now dry, so I'm going to use some Holt's exhaust assembly paste just to seal before we put the exhaust back in. Put some on the exhaust, probably easier. So I've just gone inside the exhaust there as well, just to make sure we've got it. Pop that in. And then I'll just put that bolt in, just to hold it in place. There we go. I've just used a rubber bung at this point here as well, so it's got that flex on that point as well. And I'll just put the silencer on, put that in place before I tighten everything down. It's nice when everything fits. Perfect. Just got to tighten up down the other end. As you well know, there's been a fair bit of modification to get that to fit, but now it fits really well. It doesn't touch the frame anywhere. Actually fits really well. We've just got the spring, just move you down so you can see. We've just got our spring now to connect from there to there, and that is done. If I can remember where I've put my spring. You just hook that bit onto there, push the spring down. There we go. And that's that done. Let's move on to the next bit. Right, so I've got to replace this. I've got my new one here. I've just got to pull out the old terminal. As you can see, it's still broke inside there. Let's pull that out. It's really wedged in there. Right, let's have a look, see if I've got a better tool. I'll be back shortly. Right, I was just double checking, and it is that whole thing that's got to be pulled out. Positive, negative terminal is different. There we go. So that's that broken bit off. Okay. Right, that's all that connected. And I believe that simply bolts onto there. Right, got myself a little bolt, just about long enough, I think. Just right, that's that bit done. Let's move on to the next bit. So with the exhaust now all fitted properly and the air filter in and our clocks on, so I can keep an eye on the temperature, I'm going to get it outside and put some fresh fuel in it, just see what it runs like with the alterations that I've done on the carb. So let's get it outside, a bit more room as well for me. So join me shortly. It's a little bit windy today, so I'm just putting on the fuel line. There we go. Make sure it's on, off, and put a bit of fuel in. Just hadn't tightened down the fuel tap enough, so with a few turns on the 2 bolts it's stopped the leak, I think. It's a bit warmer today, so I've come outside to do it so much better. You've got loads more room instead of being in that. I mean, that shed's not exactly small, but a couple of bikes in there and you've just got no room. So, right, let's give it a kick and see what she sounds like. Choke on. myself. And put the fuel on. Should we try again? Right over my foot. It's gone cold now. Well, it's not running properly. With the choke on, it's completely revving its arse off, and then with the choke off, it just doesn't want to take over. Something's not quite right, or I haven't figured it out yet. I need to do a bit more digging. I've took the carb off. I've checked, made sure everything's clean. I've checked the flow tight, done the obvious things, and it's exactly the same. So I need to probably get the carb maybe properly cleaned, get it put in a parts washer, not a parts washer, what they're called, vapor blasted or something along them lines. Get it cleaned properly anyway, just to rule that out, and then when that's done, you know, I haven't got to think, well, you know, I've used carb cleaner to clean the car, but sometimes that's not good enough to clear the passageways. So I'll get that done probably, and we'll go from there. But a bit gutted, because I did think I'd nailed that problem with the flow tight. That was definitely wrong on the other, on the one of the previous videos. But now I've got the flow tight right. It's running differently to before, but it's still not running right. So yeah, we'll get to the bottom of it hopefully, and
kind of put a bit of a downer on the build, but I suppose these things happen. But that's going to be it for this one, unfortunately. In the next video, hopefully I'll have some more answers to what the problem is. Well, thanks for watching anyway, and until next time, goodbye.